Yeah.
15, John, I think this one's yours.
Yeah, this is mine. We have, as a homeowner association, we have a certain latitude as to how we account for our capital assets. We can either amortize those or depreciate them over X number of years, or we can expense them in the year that we buy them. Historically, and in the past, we've kind of used a hybrid approach, and this building is a perfect example of that. Part of this building shows up on our balance sheet as an asset. Part of it showed up last year or the year before, whenever we did the actual renovation, as an expense, because the part that was paid for out of reserves, okay, was an expense. Anyway, the bottom line is we right now have a very hybrid way of doing it. Our auditor, in doing the 07 audit, suggested that we adopt one method or the other. As a matter of fact, he suggested that with only very minor exceptions, that we expense everything. So my recommendation to the board, and by the way, our Mike Kilmer, our CPA, agreed with that. It will require some prior year adjustments to our financial statements. Kilmer's prepared to do that once the board authorizes that approach. So essentially my recommendation is that the board adopt the expense method, and we no longer use a hybrid approach, or we no longer capitalize things, but we actually expense capital assets in the year in which we acquire them.
That was the motion?
That's the motion.
And just to clarify, we're talking just depreciable assets.
We're talking about every asset.
That property we own.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, not land or things.
So it'll still be a hybrid thing in a way, but you're really talking depreciable assets?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, hard capital, things you can touch and feel, yes, yes.
Steve?
It concerned me when you said he was gonna go back and redo prior years in some fashion. Are we talking about a lot of money?
No. Our auditor says that, and he claims to audit many homeowners associations. He is going to provide for Kilmer a certain track, so that you can go from this approach to that approach, and it should be fairly straightforward. The only reason I brought that up is because you'll see different numbers. Once we do that, you'll see different numbers on the financials, and you're going to ask me where they come from. Well, that's essentially
that anyway.
I know you do, but essentially that's what that's all about. No, he says it's not a big job, you can do it, but we'll no longer see depreciation, for example, on our balance sheet. Depreciation
Or our
is-
budgets.
Or our budgets.
So there's no tax implication here?
And there is no tax implication. That's correct. Now, if anybody wants, I got from Mr. Kilmer a 14-page dissertation on this subject that is almost as much fun as reading the tax code. So if any of you would like a copy of that, I'd be more than happy to provide it.
As long as you've memorized it, John.
I pretty much memorized it, and yeah. Anyway, the motion is that we adopt the expense method for handling our capital assets.
Discussion? Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thanks, John.
This will really simplify and make our financials much more understandable, because they've always been mysterious. Why some things show and some things don't. And then the idea of budgeting depreciation, which was always goofy.